speaker has delivered workshops, just to give you a little bit of background, in the UK, in Ireland, Germany, Spain, Morocco, Canada, Mexico, Colombia. The list goes on. He's been a Toastmaster for only 5 years and he's achieved so much. He is a member of 5 clubs. So you can see he's really, really committed to speaking and clarity and messages. And recently, he's actually, something you guys might be interested out there, he's recently launched a club in Manchester. It's a digital club. That's all you do, you did digital speaking. And they're going to be moving on to hybrid speaking as well, in case you guys are interested out there. He's entered and won many competitions. His main message, and I love this message, is it's not about you, it's about the audience. So please help welcome Julian Cereceda. Hopefully I said it right. Welcome, Julian. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, hello. If you want to zoom like a pro, the first thing you need to do is to look good on camera. You know that creating a first good impression helps a lot. People to feel at ease, your ideas to be accepted, and your product to be sold. How do we create a good impression on camera? On this workshop, we are going to find out. However, before we start, before we kick off, I would like to ask few members to present themselves in 30 seconds. So, who is the bravest of all of you? Who is the person who is going to present himself in 30 seconds? Tony Weiss. Thank you very much for volunteering yourself. 30 seconds to present yourself, say who you are and why are you here. Wait, Tony.
Hold on, I'm coming. Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for asking me. Quite a surprise. I certainly wasn't expecting this. This is probably a little bit like table topics. Anyway, I've probably only got 20 seconds left. I'm here from King Speakers, been the Toastmaster for the last 6 or 7 years. I think time really flies when you have fun. I have to say that first speech we had was absolutely brilliant. I did make some notes and I found it very, very useful, and I'm really looking forward to your workshop now. I'm not sure how much time I've got left. Okay, I think I've got the time. I'm finished. Thank you very much anyway for asking me. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic. Please give him a round of applause. The next person coming on the stage is going to be Phil Dex. Am I saying your name right? Phil? Yes.
Yep, Phil Deeks, yep.
Yeah,
so good evening, everyone. My name's Phil Deeks, part of Pearly Speakers. I've been at Pearly Speakers for just over a year now, so I joined just before lockdown. So most of my experience today has been learning to use virtual tools, and again, using it a lot more in my job. So keen to learn more on this workshop today about how to present myself more professionally. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Jenny Chalmers, would you like to go next?
Thank you. I'm Jenny Chalmers. I've been a Toastmaster for, well, I'm into my teenage Toastmasters now. I belong to a club in District 91, Vista, and 3 clubs in District 71, Milton Keynes Confident Speakers, Cornerstone Advanced Communicators, and Luton Speakers. And I really do think that being a member of Toastmasters develops confidence and ease in speaking.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please. It's a small exercise for a reason. Now, we are going to launch a poll. And I want you guys to vote who you think it was the speaker who presented himself more professionally. The idea is not to shame anybody. The idea is to get what these speakers have done right and incorporate it to our presentations. So Nick, if you can send the poll, I will appreciate it.
Oh, Julian, I'm sorry, I have a technical issue in the background here. Can we get A, B, C, and D into the chat, perhaps? Thank you.
Oh, Okay, it's coming now.
I launched it.
Good.
I still have the control.
If you can vote, the first speaker, the second speaker, the third, the fourth. Okay, all right. Interesting. Very good, very good, very good. Let's give it 10 more seconds and we are gonna kick off the workshop. Okay, fantastic. I think you can stop it. We have a clear idea who the people prefer. Now, the funny thing, and I haven't told you, is that I'm not gonna tell you who is the most professional speaker until the end of the workshop. So keep tuned in. Now, we have to look good on camera because we want to sell our ideas, to sell our products. How do we do this? There are different ways to do it. First of all, we can go to what many people nowadays go, the beauty clinic. Yes. But the beauty clinic comes at a cost. Botox and fillers, 250 euros. That's in Europe. Here in the UK, prices might vary. And only lasts for 6 to 9 months. So, you know, start doing some math. Also, if you want to have the full pack, breast implants, almost 3,000 euros. And for men, I have also something. Hair transplant, 3,000 euros. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those are the prices in the market. My question for you is, do we really need the beauty clinic to look good on camera? What do you think? I'm gonna tell you that no, we don't need to go to any beauty clinic to look good on camera. On this workshop, I'm gonna explain four different things that you can start doing now to look more professional in front of the camera. And I'm gonna give you as well one thing that you should pay attention to avoid crashing that good impression you create with the video. On this workshop, we are gonna talk about framing. We are gonna talk about how to place the camera. We are gonna talk about the background. And we are gonna talk about lighting. And finally, we are gonna see how sound can ring our presentation. So let's dive in. Let's start with framing. For those of you who don't know what framing is the space the camera is showing. The farther away you are from the camera, the more space you will show. I mean, if you are like the Queen and have a really good house and you want to show off, go for it. If you want to build some kind of connection with your audience, better to get a bit closer. Framing is very important because depending which kind of shot you use, you are going to be perceived in a way or in another. And you will see now how can change the experience for the audience and the impression you create. Let's start with the first shot. General shot. What is this shot about? This shot is the one that shows where the presenter is and the surrounding. And you might be thinking, but this is not a shot we use in Zoom. And you are right. This is not a shot we use now in Zoom. But I don't know if you heard the last news. We have vaccine. Yes. And from now on, people are going to start going back to the rooms, to the venues. And then we are going to have a situation where half of the audience is going to be on the venue, and the other half is going to be behind the camera. In order to satisfy the needs of the people following the event through the camera, you need a general shot so they can figure out what's going on the camera. You can also use the full shot. This is a shot ideal for those speakers that like to present standing up. This shot gives you a lot of power, a lot of energy. And the good thing is that if you are very ugly, you can use it because nobody's gonna see your face. You are very far away from the camera. However, be careful because can happen something like this. This lovely lady is giving a speech. Her house is beautiful. But do you see something strange there? No? Yes? If you look at the center of the picture, what do you see? The center of the picture, you see the groin. So the groin, yes, that's what you want to show to your audience. Sooner or later, they are gonna catch an eye on that. It's in the middle of the screen. Please be mindful with that. We can use a cowboy shot as well. This is the shot they use in the Hollywood movies before start shooting. This shot goes from the head to the hips and is ideal for those of you, again, who love standing up and presenting in front of the camera with all your energy. By the way, how many of you are standing up now? Don't think many. Okay, Kavita, that's true. That's something that can make you different. If everybody is seated, maybe if you stand up, you can straight away be different. Also, when you stand up, your movements are more natural, more energetic. Think about that. It's not for everybody, I recognize that. We can use as well a medium shot. We are getting closer to the camera as well. You can use this standing up, and this shot goes from the head to the hips or to the waist. But now we are coming to the real effective one, my favorite, and that is medium close up. This goes from the head to the chest. And now, for the ladies who have gone to the beauty clinic and had a job, you don't need to say anything else. It's gonna be noticed straight away. If you're not happy with the job, don't use it, of course. This shot gives you a lot of space to move your hands. This shot can be used as well when you are seated. So things to think about. Many of us, however, prefer to use the close-up shot, which is good. If you have some job in your face, you can use it. You are gonna show off, of course. If you're ugly, don't use it. This shot builds closeness, builds rapport with the audience. However, if you are gonna do a very long speech, it can be quite tiring because people are looking at your face all the time. Your hands sometimes are outside the framing. And if you don't change your voice, it can be quite boring. So, quite popular. Many of us use this shot, but be mindful of the pitfalls. What is more, some people even use the extreme close-up shot. What is this? This is the shot where you are very close to the camera. You say, you cannot use this, you cannot use. I'm going to tell you, you can use this if you use it effectively. Imagine you have a very important message to give to your audience. Pause. Come closer to the camera. The closer you come to the camera, the more attention you will draw from your audience, the more closeness you will build with the audience. And when you're close enough, you can say, the best place to learn to speak is Watford Speakers. If you are not a member, join after the meeting. And come back. Very smart, very smooth, and very effective. Do not do this if you have something in your mouth or in your beard that you are not happy with. I'm talking about pimples, I'm talking about scratches, I'm talking about hair. Yes, because when you are so close to the camera, everything is seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen framing. Let's have a quick look about the position of the camera. On this picture, you can see 3 presenters. I want you to show me in front of the camera a finger, 2 fingers, or 3 fingers. 1 finger if you think that the speaker on the left is the most professional looking. 2 fingers if you think that the speaker in the middle is the most professional looking. Or 3 fingers if you think that is the one on the right. So please show me your fingers. Don't be... Okay, I see a lot of Toastmasters here. Plenty of 2. Emel Salamanca, what do you think?
I think it's number 2.
Number 2 as well. Okay, you go with the crowd. That's fine. No problem. Let's see what these guys are doing. The first one is using a high angle shot. This high angle shot is where the camera is on top of us. And this shot makes us small, petite, diminutive. Do we really want to be seen as small, petite, diminutive in front of the camera? Probably not, unless you are going to be fired. Imagine your boss called you to the office, the virtual office, and you know that bad news are coming. Maybe if you want to awake his pity, you can use this technique. Like he might say, okay, he's struggling, he has a family, maybe I can do something and not fire up. Maybe it works, maybe not. But if you are strong, probably it won't work. This shot is very dangerous as well, because as we have the camera on top of us, what is the first thing we see? Yes, Georgia, yes, that's right. Here, especially for men. Ladies, I don't know if you know this, but when men start losing the hair, the confidence vanishes. Men, if your confidence is going down, do not use this shot because it's not gonna make you any good. What is more, the light on top sometimes can shine on a bald patch. It's amazing. You cannot stop looking at that light. So be mindful, be mindful. Think how you are seen on camera. If we say that the high angle can be quite dangerous, what about the low angle shot? The low angle shot is that one we use the camera under our head. And who does use this shot very often? Any idea? Politicians. 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 Always they want to be seen like the solution for your problems. However, politicians have a group of experts, a team that helps them to look good on camera. We don't have such a privilege. We don't have those resources. And what happened is that we tend to put the camera very close and pointing up, showing the double chin, whatever we have in our nostrils, and the ceiling. Yes, I know, some of you are very proud of your ceiling, but let me tell you something. They don't add anything to the presentation. Sorry. So if we have said that the high angle shot makes you small, the low angle shot can make you big and experienced, but has some problems, what do we use? You guessed it right, eye level shot. And this is the shot that they use in the news. Have you watched recently BBC News? ITV News? All of them, in all parts of the world, they use this shot. What is more, the newsreaders tend to place themselves in the middle of the screen. One thing I want you to think about, these guys have been doing this job for 60 years. We now are expected to do the same job or similar. So why cannot we copy? Why cannot get inspired by them? They use the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is where the framing is divided into vertical lines, which produce 3 vertical pieces on the slide, similar, and in 2 lines horizontal. Now, on the top line, place your eyes. On the bottom line, place your shoulders. And there is no way with that you don't look professional. However, I'm gonna challenge you. We want to be a bit different. We want to add something to our presentation, something different. A step to the right or a step to the left. There, where the lines cross, is what we call the point of action. And that means that we are freeing some space here that we can use to use strong gestures, or even better, we can use it to put our message. You cannot see it here, can you? This is the club website. So if you are not a member, please remember, after this meeting, go to this website and get all the information, because it can change your life. Okay. We have seen a couple of things here. What about the background? This can as well build your credibility or diminish it. This gentleman over here is giving a speech. But what is the impression you get from him? Teresa, what do you think when you see this presenter on this screen, on this picture?
His cluttered background is distracting him from his speech.
Okay, fantastic. Well, quite clear, isn't it? The other day, I was told that this guy was on the clutter business. And it makes sense to me, it makes sense. We don't know what is his background. Well, I'm sorry, we know what his background is like, but we don't know what is he doing, what is he saying. But because of the background, we have an impression, and probably it's not the best. Maybe it's not his room. Maybe he got that room for the meeting, that's all. But we as an audience start to think that this guy is dirty, untidy, and unprofessional. So please, make sure that your background is crisp and clean and professional. Let me show you one of my favorite examples. This lady here, lovely lady, But you see who is behind him? It's Joe Blows. Yes, laugh. Because I was in the meeting, I saw the blow coming, taking his pants down. I could not do anything. I mean, I was mesmerized. And I said, do you know that there is a bloke changing his pants behind you? And she said, yes, I know, but I cannot do anything. If you are in a job interview, okay, background can help us to build our credibility. I'm pretty sure you know this guy. Am I right? Please, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up? Yeah, okay, of course. Oh, somebody's showing thumbs down. Okay, I don't want to say anything. This guy, Gordon Brown, is on a live interview on CNN. And the thing you see behind him is an amazing collection of books. You don't know what he's talking about, but because he has that amazing collection of books behind him, you believe whatever he says doesn't matter. However, I have a problem with this technique of building credibility with books. And I'm very curious. Whenever I see a bookshelf like this, I start looking at the books. And as you can see, Gordon Brown has plenty of them. Imagine that Gordon Brown is reading 50 Shades of Grey. Or even worse, that he's reading Adolf Hitler. We are going to think that he subscribes what Adolf Hitler say. And it might be right or might be wrong. We don't know. But by assimilation, we are going to think the worst. And actually, this happened here in this country. An MP was giving a presentation behind has a collection of books and Mein Kampf, Hitler. Nobody noticed it. However, in a second interview, he put a teddy bear. Of course, people start looking, what is there? What is there? They couldn't see it. They went to the past, to Twitter, and they saw that he was reading Adolf Hitler. The credibility of this guy plummeted. So what I want to say here is very easy. Be careful with what you read. Reading can be dangerous, very dangerous. On Zoom, we are very lucky that we have something called background, this virtual background. This guy is doing a presentation about scuba diving, and he's using a virtual background to build that presentation. That's brilliant. However, if we are talking about the impact of coronavirus in the UK, for instance, we should avoid backgrounds that have nothing to do with the topic. For instance, that Caribbean beach that comes by default, and we all want to show, oh, I'm in the Caribbean. No, you are not. And it's distracting. Also, when you use a background, a virtual background, you can melt into the background, or you can do a lot of shades when you move. When you use a virtual background, you have to be very careful how you light it in order to look professional. After trying plenty of times, I decided that the best is to have a plain background. And the reason is very simple. You are looking at me. There is nothing behind me that can distract you. And I think my message can help you to lead better presentations. Therefore, no other thing can distract you from my message. Talking about lighting, this gentleman here is a politician as well. He's Minister of Environment, many other things in Spain. As you can see, he has a suit, he has the tie. Behind him, the Spanish law. He has a plant to show the green credentials. But do you think is something wrong there. I think there is something fundamentally wrong, and it's the light, the shades behind him look weird. To me, this guy does not inspire me any trust at all. And that's all because of the lights and the shades. And this guy has a lot of people working for him that could tell him, hey, look, you are looking dodgy. Please make sure that you change. We don't have that privilege. So be careful when you use the lighting. Also, here we could go along the different options to use lighting, but we all live in different places. We all have different family arrangements. I have to pay my wife to take the kid to the other room for 1 hour so I could stay with her. Yes, sometimes we have to do these things. So, because we all live in different realities, it's very difficult to give an advice for everybody. However, one thing that you can do to avoid look bad on camera is placing yourself in front of the window. When you are between the window and the camera, the light coming from behind is gonna obscure your face. And here, you know, in Zoom, we need those small cues to understand what the presenter is saying. So make sure that your face is visible. You don't need to buy any light, very easy. You turn around and face the window. The sunlight will light your face and you will look much better on camera. If it's night, well, you will have to use artificial light, of course. All of these things can help you to create a great first impression. Now, I would like to go to the Zoom master, to Nick Lacani, and ask, how was the poll? Who was the speaker who, in opinion of the audience, looked more professional on camera?
I think it was number 2.
Number 2. Who was number 2? Are you there, number 2? Can you say hello? Hello, who was number? Phil. I think it was Phil. Am I right?
Sorry, I thought I was 3.
Okay, Phil. Can anyone tell me what Phil is doing right? Ilaria, you come forward. You were drawing my attention. What do you think Phil is doing right?
I can't see him. I would like to see him again, Nick. Is it possible?
Look at him.
Phil, well, if for one thing he's smiling and he has a background that is reasonably clean and cluttered, and actually is nice because also he has that photograph on the side. He looks very engaged. It looks like I'm really listening to you. And that I think is what always will capture a Toastmaster.
And would you have any piece of advice for him to improve his presence online?
If it depends whether he's speaking or listening. I think the posture is brilliant for listening, but if he were speaking, I would invite him to be sitting straight so that he has more space to move back and forth. So to come closer, maybe with, let me tell you a secret, but then also have the ability to go back. So where on the stage, we move back and left and right. On camera, we tend to move back and forth to have pretty much the same effect.
Okay, Georgia says on the chat that maybe if you raise your camera a bit up, you will look more professional. You will be using the eye level shot. When you are so close to the camera and coming from down, we can see your ceiling, which by the way, nice color, and the lights. But the lights can, you know, draw the attention from the audience onto you. Actually, if you want to do a quick investment, you could do it. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you no. Look, this is a really nice book. I wrote about how to look professional on camera and how to make more engaging presentations. However, you don't need to, this is only, by the way, £2.50. You don't need to buy anything. What you have to do is make sure that you use the resources you have at home. Jesus is doing podcasting, so he's using his microphone to do the video conferences. Fantastic. I have here the bedside light and another light there. I didn't spend anything on lights. This is important you to know. First of all, you need to figure out what you need. Yes. Sometimes we want to buy the latest camera, the latest computer, the latest set of lights, but we don't need them. So it's important that first you figure out what you need and then explore how you can achieve that. And it can be buying a webcam. I'm not saying the opposite, but first spend some time on Zoom trying to figure out what you really need. Okay, let's get back to the workshop because we are about to go to the next, the last part. This is the part where we have built our video presence. We are all very confident. We have created a good impression on camera, but we speak. We are going to talk about audio. Video is good to create a good impression, but don't kid yourself. The most important thing on Zoom is sound. Imagine that for the last 30 minutes, you could not hear me. Doesn't matter how I move, you don't know what I'm saying. So make sure that your sound is clean, crisp, and clear. Studies show that when the speaker is not understood because there is white noise, background noise, or noises that don't belong to the speaker, the audience get confused. And that speaker is considered like less experienced. It has not as much engagement as others that you can understand him, and people will not believe what he has to say. So make sure that your sound is clear. And now, one thing I want to ask here. What do you think that is more important? Some earphones or a microphone? Robert, that you have earphones, what do you think is more important?
Microphone.
Well, that was not Robert, was he?
I think it's better to have a better microphone or better headphones. Is that the question?
Yes.
It's definitely good to have a better microphone because it's exhausting to listen to somebody who has a poor microphone. I had work with somebody, his microphone, I can't understand every other word, and I feel exhausted after just half an hour.
What is true? Microphone is the most important thing for your audience. You don't need to have a really good sound. You can hear, I mean, the computer, it should be good enough to listen what the other people are saying. So bear that in mind when you open the wallet and go to buy the next gadget. Okay, how are we doing with time? Do we have time to do some quick round of evaluation to some pictures I have here?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, fantastic. Let's see the first person. Who would like to give an evaluation to this gentleman?
I would like to say get the hard hat out of the picture.
Okay.
And maybe get a little bit tighter on the screen so that you're not quite as low. And try to smile a little bit more. You look too angry.
This is a frame of a guy speaking, and we got the framing where he was, passionate, saying that "Viva Mexico" or whatever. The problem I see here is that there are a lot of information behind him. A green wall, as you say, hardtop, books. You lost. You don't know what to look at. So be mindful what you are showing behind you. This lady here, we have here on the next picture, John Alade. What do you think about this lady? Yes, John Alade.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
She's positioned.
Oh.
Okay, I think she's positioned well in the middle, but the back distracts from her face, so you're focusing on that picture behind her. When I'm looking at her, I will say move that picture so you've got like a blank screen.
You're right. I mean, you're right. This lady, I think she has a good, she's standing in front of the audience. Everything is perfect, but the picture behind her, it looks like a radar. It looks like elephant ears. She's listening to all of you. I think that this is quite distracting. Brian Skelton, I would like you to have a look at this one. What do you think about this gentleman?
I was just unmuting. I think that paper that he's holding is too big for a start off, and maybe he's over to the right a little bit. He could maybe be a bit more in the middle. But that paper that he's holding is a bit distracting, unless he's holding it for a reason.
Absolutely, Brian. This guy is using a low angle in order to deliver his presentation. What happened is that he's putting his hands on top of the camera or the paper, so the audience feels diminished. When we speak in front of the audience, we want to be seen as experts. That's good. But we don't want to, bring the audience down and say, I'm above you. We have to speak one-to-one. For that reason, before we saw the different angles. I'm gonna give you, this is I think it's gonna help you a lot. How can we get the benefits of having the low angle? That means making us more experts, but without being very obvious doing that trick. If we place the camera at chin or neck height, depending on the distance. So the audience is gonna feel that we are the same. We are talking one-to-one. They're gonna feel at ease. But because you're slightly above the camera, you're gonna come across as an expert. So think about it and try to do it in your next presentation. And tell me what the people think about how you look on camera. One thing I want to tell you here, I'm doing this because I have a goal in life, and it's kill the boring presentations. I've been in many of those. And it's my goal to help people to get rid of those word presentations that go on and on and on and on. And here on camera, we think that we put the PowerPoint and we can read it and nobody's seeing us. No. Presentations have to be something engaging. Let me move to the next guy, the next example. Bingham, yes, please, go ahead. What do you think about this young lad?
He certainly has something to say, looks very purposeful in his action. In fact, he's asking somebody to do something, I think, and we're all going to do what he wants us to do.
I'm very proud to say that this guy is the third best speaker at the latest international speech contest at District 71. And I'm very proud to say that because Chira is my friend and I helped him to master this speech in order to become a Well, the third speech. And he said, I mean, I'm not saying it, no, he said. So I'm very proud for that, because he recognized what we did with him. This one is what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys had chance to do a Toastmasters hybrid meeting, but this is what general shot looks like. We are the audience, we are behind the camera, and we know what's going on. Whenever we go to the rooms again, think that this is a shot that we are going to start using. Finally, anyone will tell me something, what is wrong with this picture? Gordon Valentine, please open your microphone and tell me if you think if there is anything wrong or not.
Well, I hope she's not driving.
Well, she is.
She's driving, so I would be concerned about that. But it's an unusual situation because she's in a car and she's trying to do it from presumably some sort of screen camera. So although she's a bit too far down in the right-hand corner and not showing enough off her, I would have thought that's not a bad effort from the circumstances.
Well, that's good. Fine that you say it's not bad effort, but my question is, do we really need a video on this presentation? I mean, whatever she has to say, if it's important, first, she won't be in the car. Secondly, if it's important and has to say it, you cannot do it while driving. So why don't you switch your camera off? Seriously, whenever I see a presenter driving, I don't know what is going on. It distracts me a lot because I don't know if a car is coming, is going, and I'm concerned that that person is going to be more into the Zoom meeting than on the road. And the last thing we want to see is an accident live on Zoom. I'm in red. So if you have any question, you can, I don't know if we have time to answer it here, but if not, please get in touch. If you want me to give this speech or a similar speech in one of your clubs or organizations, get in touch. If you want me to go to your company and give something similar, get in touch. If you really need to speak with me and ask me how you look, how good you look on camera, please get in touch. You have my LinkedIn on the chat, please get in touch. This is not for me, I already done it, this is for you. Thank you very much for your time. You've been a fabulous audience.
Thank you so much. Have we got any questions on the chat? Priya, anything you can see?
I'll just raise a couple, Julian, for you.
Cool.
There's one question. How do I stop the screen from reflecting on my glasses?
Distance and light. If you are very close, chances are that everything is going to be seen. If you get farther away, chances are that that reflection will reduce. Also, if this does not work, try to change the light setup.
Okay, thank you very much. And then another one. Julian, you've conducted your meeting at center screen. Would you advise we don't do that, but instead follow the rule of thirds? Slightly low, but otherwise okay.
It all depends. I mean, these are tricks and techniques that you can use in your presentations. You have to ask yourself, what is my goal? What do I want the audience to do? And from there, you will develop your speech. You develop your position. There are call girls, video call girls. I don't know if you are in the business, if you know what I'm talking about. No, okay, sure. Anyway, but these kind of professionals will have a different camera needs than lawyers. I mean, if a lawyer is using the same techniques like a webcam girl, something is wrong. I'm not gonna go with that lawyer, that's for sure. And the other way around probably works the same way. So what you have to ask is, what do I want from my audience? And what do I want from my audience? I'm going to tell you, in case it's not clear. I want you first to join Watford Speakers because it's the best way to improve. If you are Toastmasters, do not join. You already joined your club. But if you are not Toastmasters, Watford Speakers is a good starting point to improve your presence on camera. Another thing I would like you to do is to buy my book. Yes, because it's only £2.5. I'm not gonna get rich, but the amount of information you can get there, seriously, it can change the way you think about Zoom, about how to do presentations on Zoom. People say, oh, another presentation. It's so boring. No, Zoom is not to be blamed of our shortcomings. We, presenters, are useless. We don't know how to use it. And because we don't know how to use it, we try to blame the system. It's like PowerPoint. If we know how to use PowerPoint, we can be really good presenters. If we don't, we are going to bore the audience. That's how I see it. Any other question?
I think some of the ones have been answered. A lot to do with lighting, how, you know, artificial lighting coming back from the screen, behind the screen, can that help? But there are a lot of questions that have been answered, Julian. I think that should be it.
I see. If we have £10 to present ourselves better, what would you advise us to spend on it? Well, £10. 2.5 will go to my book, that's for sure. And the rest, 7.5. I don't know. You know what I will do? A prop, yes. Something. Did you see this? Did you see what I have at the beginning? I will buy one of these. Something that goes with your presentation, because dressing as well can draw the attention, can make the experience memorable. So somebody taking their clothes off. I'm pretty sure that when you came here, you did not expect anything like that. Well, something, you know, to enjoy. The important thing, as I always think that we don't know how the people are doing in life. They might be going through hell, but if you can change that person for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour, and make that person smile and forget all the pain he's going through, is worth it. And you might not know it, that you have done it, but if you take that to all your conversations, all your presentations, seriously, there is no way wrong. One thing you can see, I'm not from here, but I managed to keep 55 people engaged for almost 1 hour. Thank you. I think that I have something to offer to you, and you got it. So that's all. Anyway.
Thank you so much. I've watched this twice and I've learned so much. Thank you. So now what I'd like to do is, can I hand over to Coralie, please? So Coralie is our club president. She was supposed to open the meeting, but got a little bit confused with the Zoom boxes, if you like. So can we hand over to Coralie, please?
Thank you, Kavita, and thank you for being an amazing Toastmaster and for making this evening happen. A week ago, Kavita said to me, I know this amazing guy, Julian, he does these wonderful presentations on Zoom about how you present on Zoom. Shall we have him for Tuesday night have a workshop? And I said, oh, a week. I'd be embarrassed. We might not have enough people attending. Tonight, we actually had 90 plus people signed in and 61 attendees, a record for Watford Speakers. So, Julian, thank you so much. An amazing workshop you certainly delivered, and they're not going to recognise me when I present on Teams at work. They're going to not recognise my new virtual image. I've learnt a lot, so thank you so very, very much. It's been wonderful. I'd like to thank our speakers, of those brave people who stepped up today. I'd like to thank Robert for being our target speaker and for Matt's evaluating him, and Sonal for being our table topics master. And I'd like to thank everybody at Watford Speakers who've made this evening possible. There was a lot of work went behind the scenes, as you can imagine, and certainly delivered. It's been an amazing evening. And after this meeting tonight, I hope you will consider joining Watford Speakers. We're looking to have many more workshops. I'd like to also thank all our guests who turned up. Normally, I would ask the guests to say a few comments about how you enjoyed the meeting and what you got from it. But I think with 60+ people, we haven't got another hour. So I think we'll move to we're going to close now, but what we will do is we'll keep the virtual audience open. So if you want to stay with us and have a chat, that would be absolutely lovely. And thank you to everybody. And I now declare this meeting closed.